Hello and welcome to our first webinar on TaaS. We will introduce you on how digitization monetizes massive potentials for tire businesses related in tire handling. Let me tell you how excited we are about this webinar. We are proud to have the opportunity today to speak to almost 70 participants. A great thank you to all of you that you could make it possible to be here today with us. We're living in the 21st century, 2021 to be precise. An exciting time to live in. Why is it so exciting? Because if you remember the past, we used to have devices, each for a different purpose. We had the Walkman to listen to music. We had our newspapers to get to the latest news. And we had a photo camera to capture our most valuable moments, and so on. And now, what has changed? For all the daily deeds, we nowadays use a mobile phone. If you go to a foreign country, you go to booking.com. If you want to get literature, we go to amazon.com. And for the stay over the weekend in a fancy place, we go to Airbnb. It's all handled by a mobile phone, taking pictures, controlling our homes, making calls, or even measure flame heights with our candle app, you name it. So what does this have to do with us, CST? We are from a small town in the southern part of Germany, Waldshut, which we also like to call the home of automated red depth measurement. We, CST, have over 17 years of experience in tires, tire diagnostics, tire production, and tire services. The common ground CST and mobile phones have is that we have made a revolution on how we will digitize services around tires. I am very excited to take you on that journey in the next around 30 minutes to give you an overview on what we have been working on and what we will hopefully continue to work on with you. We will begin our journey of how our vision is set into reality by simply measuring one tire with one mobile phone. You can see now a colleague and his twin simultaneously measure the same vehicle with the classic way with a gauge and paper and pen, and the new way, just using a mobile phone. And what we see immediately is the mobile phone way is much more time efficient, while at the same time maintaining the same accuracy of the manual readings. So, who is CST actually, and why do we have the right stuff? The team behind CST has been working on automated red depth measurement for around 16 years. Our achievements date back to the early years from around 2006 to 2009, where we brought the first high-speed systems into the world. Those systems diagnosed tires on moving vehicles with speeds of up to 120 kilometers per hour. Back then, our only job left was to assist local traffic police operating the system and watch them identify vehicles with inappropriate tires. The bycatch was also very interesting to observe. There were issues of ownership of the vehicle, driving under influence, and so on. That's a funny story. We may consider these early days as the birthdays of the TaaS vision. Back then, it was common to have a BlackBerry device in business. We used these a lot for photo documenting the tires. When all of a sudden, an idea struck. Can't we just, with the pictures we just took directly on the BlackBerry, not just document, but also measure the tires? Wouldn't that be a great product? And this idea never vanished from our heads. In 2012, as part of a major German workshop supplier, we developed a cost-effective system to be used in workshop and garage equipment, like in lifts. In 2014, as a starting point for a long-lasting relationship with a major German automotive supplier, we founded CST with the aim to develop a super compact and standalone system for tire diagnostics and workshops. This was our first embedded solution and also a device for which we claim the term IoT device. In 2019, our adventurous journey around tires brought us directly into the production of tires, where we used the chance, together with a major German industry sensor manufacturer, to develop a system which measures the quality of the tire in the production process within sub-millimeter accuracy. Since 2020, we do work to revolutionize automated tread depth measurement by means of a nowadays very common, powerful, and always connected device. A device we all carry with us, the mobile phone. Thus, after a significant initial investment of time and money, we are now proud to claim the ownership of the technological core, which measures the tread depth with a precision of 0.1 millimeter on a reference tire under defined environments from video data taken with a mobile phone. Let's have a brief look on what we did and learned in the years we worked on digitized tire diagnostics. With our strategic partner in the around the wheel business, we decided to cooperate and consequently found CST with the aim to develop, build, and market the most advanced tread depth sensor product as an embedded IoT solution. The development, by the way, absorbed an initial investment of much over 1 million euro. As a result, we achieved a highly accurate sensor which has network and cloud readiness in its genes. The sensor now has clearance from major automotive manufacturers and is marketed worldwide under around 5 different brands. Sales-wise, we work on the acquisition of further clearances, which takes around a year or two to achieve this per manufacturer. Here, the core of the tire diagnostics is processed on board. Advanced diagnostics, since the system is cloud ready, uses an analytical backend architecture, which basically gives unlimited diagnostic opportunities. Let's go and discover another use case for automated tread depth measurement. While the sensor was being marketed primarily for workshops, we discovered customer needs for digitizing the whole customer experience. As a service center for a premium car maker, the customer wanted to transition the premium vehicle experience towards a premium service experience by automatically scanning the vehicle's tires and body. Our sensor fully delivered the requirements on a digitized tire diagnostics system. And with that, we expose the full canvas of customer needs we have discovered amongst businesses involved, close or remote, in tires. In our almost 15 years of work with customers for automated tire diagnostics, we were able to identify various drivers for the need for digital tire services. A tendency clearly showing up is a declining interest in tires, which is further accelerated by an increased use of all-season tires. And this, although the tire is the main object that keeps the vehicles on the road and the passengers within safe and secure. Winning new customers and binding existing customers on the long term is another strong desire, which is simplified once a convenient connection is made between the result point and the customer. Buying tires isn't easy. You have to know about tire sizes, rim diameters, funny ratios between width and diameter, strange load indices, and the list goes on. Let's face it, the mobile phone has become the one go-to tool we want to use to get our every jobs done, even buying tires online or making service appointments or tracking service progress. So we are looking for tools that simplify this process and eventually convince the customer, great experience, great service. I got exactly the tires I needed. I even got my service scheduled. It's as easy as ordering a book of Amazon. In the business to association field, we are facing accidents and traffic safety. Insurances benefit from much more detailed information on the actual condition of the tire, mitigating the risks and potentially saving lives. An increasing trend in insurances is the tire insurance, where you are being compensated for a damaged tire, depending on the wear of the tire. This process currently involves human interaction, estimating the wear of the tire, reporting it back to the insurance, and clearing the customer payoff, a process that we think calls for automation. In the B2B world, we want to digitize the entire workshop experience. We want to see if we leave the vehicle for its service, if somebody has taken care of the vehicle already, is it being serviced? How far is the progress? Is it ready for pickup? Or have issues been found? Is the pickup delayed? Again, a call for digitization. Businesses also want to know when is the best time to offer tires to the customer. Is it now? Is it in a week or in a month's time? For this, we have to have a better understanding of the condition of the tire as we have it now. Today, measuring tires is not something you can do everywhere or have it done by everyone. First of all, we hardly have a watch available at all times. And no, the edge of the famous coin just wouldn't cut it here. You want to try because you have to touch the tire and handle around the car or even under the car. We also don't want to invest in hardware. If you have to spend 1,000 and more euro for a single-purpose handheld device that measures the tread depth, you start to feel you're doing something wrong. And with a stationary device where vehicles roll over, it's definitely not easier to handle this budget-wise. But what are we talking about here in terms of volume? You have 4 tires on your car. You definitely know that. You have probably heard a figure from Germany where we have passed the 40 million registered vehicles. That makes already 160 million tires rolling through the country. And for entire Europe, we have an estimated volume of around 400 million tires sold per year, which gives an increasing share for companies with digital tire processes. So, how does this relate to businesses with tires? First of all, there is no invest in hardware necessary. Why is that so? Well, because everyone got the device already that TaaS needs for measuring tread depth. That's the mobile phone. And what about the situations? When would it work? Well, TaaS is designed to work during day and night. To facilitate this, the internal lighting of the device is automatically turned on, which is then sufficient to measure the tire. And what about usability? Usability is very easy. You just walk around the vehicle, depending on your use case. You want to have the registration or license plate in the data, then you simply expose the tires to your mobile device. And this brings the data onto the device and simply keeps it there until it is processed. So what about bad connections? Well, what if you're checking tires in rural areas where there is bad reception or no reception at all? Well then, the device keeps the data while you already work on the new vehicle. The data is sent to the platform whenever the connection allows for it. Nothing is lost. Well, can I make mistakes using TaaS? Well, in the old days, you could. But we have eliminated all the opportunities to make mistakes. We have the building blocks for a real-time guidance system within the TaaS SDK that runs on the mobile phone, that right on the spot lets you know when you are too far away from the tire, when you are too close to the tire, or when you just have no tire in your data at all. You want the tire, and we make sure you get the tire, and only the white part of the tire for the tread depth. What about fraud? We also have the benefit, since we have the video stream, and we also have a full set of data from the tire. We can actually detect fraud, which means the situation where you may rely on insufficient or erroneous data is totally eliminated with TaaS. Now, let's have a close look at the inner workings of TaaS. In a world full of patents and intellectual property, who do we think is the legitimate owner of an idea? It is the one who gives this idea the perfect shape. We have designed TaaS with a shape of simplicity and effectiveness, as you can see here. You do not have to do much, just expose the tire to your mobile device. And this is it, you're done. You do not have to get in touch with anything other than your mobile device. It is a fully digital, fully traceable process which brings you as fast as possible to your most accurate diagnostics of your tire. The mobile device, tablet or phone, is used to record a video of the tire surface, license plate and tire sidewall. Later, a real-time guidance system will navigate the user and thus guarantee a process without errors. At night, the lighting integrated in the device is sufficient for this purpose. AI-supported data reduction already takes place on the mobile device. The image data of license plate, tread, and tire sidewall are now transferred to the cloud service. This analyzes the data, determines the license plate number and the tire type using a customized OCR. Tread depth is determined by an AI-assisted process. After a few seconds, the result is transmitted to the smartphone. Alternatively, the data is assigned to the respective vehicle in a vehicle database, which is, of course, depending on the use case. The question is, so what? We have the data on the mobile phone. Where does the journey for the customer continue? First of all, you address your customer. With such a technology, you're able to bind customers and convince customers that you're a state-of-the-art service provider and up to date on how things are handled in the 21st century. So TaaS helps you actually to digitize your processes, which usually means after that, they will run more efficient and they run fully digitized. You do not have to have any paperwork to handle around. Information. It's the speed, the quality, and the amount of information we usually talk about. That's what we expect from information. With TaaS, you have a full set of diagnostic data from your tire, not just a simple reading from a gauge, which means the reading is fully trackable. Where on the tire was the measurement taken, and when, and on which tire on the vehicle was it, and where was the vehicle about? The data acquisition. With TaaS, data acquisition is quick, easy, and everybody can do it. You can do it yourself, You could have it done in your organization, or you could ask your customer to do it. Get them involved in the process. Let them share the experience. Representation. How would you imagine would a service look like where the customer is given some sort of gauge, or in contrast, let them use their mobile phone to measure the thread depth? Your appearance is modern and state-of-the-art, even progressive. Also, you're demonstrating to your customer that by no means you're wasting his or her hard-earned money by inefficient or poorly carried out processes. What we have seen here in the possibilities of TaaS. Let's now go to TaaS as a product. How do we look at TaaS as a product? We already know there are several use cases. Actually, there are a lot of them around the entire related businesses. Further, we have all the needs, the requirements, the wishes, and the visions of how you want to work with your customer, what experience you want to give to your customer, how efficiently you want to run your processes, and how you imagine your processes being run in like 5, 10, or 15 years. How would an entity that enables this transition look like? On the inside, what do we wish this box to do for us? Well, we would give it some means to identify vehicles so that we know where does this record belong to? Who am I dealing with? Then we want to diagnose the tire. We want to understand whether it is a good tire, meaning the tread depth, or if it's a worn tire, or if the tire is appropriately suited to the season. Is there someone driving in winter with summer tires? It's always a bad idea. We also want to identify the tire. We really want to know the diameter, the width, its age, last but not least, which model is it and which brand. Having such a clear path from the various use cases to the actual wishes around the customer, we have now established the inner workings or the requirements of this entity that has to do this. To put this into realization, CST does the actual transition from the technical core to your use case into a product that can achieve this. CST not only services this product, but also provides updates and further diagnostic targets. As a customer, what's your part in the product? What is your share? Well, since data is a very delicate subject these days, we have enabled TaaS in a way that you're in control of the data. You decide how much of your data you want to expose into the organization, out of the organization. You're in control of how you tie the knot around the data. The data, it's yours. What do you have to do for that? As a modern organization, you already run an IT infrastructure of some sort and size. If you connect to your CTO, you will find out how easy it is to deploy an application on a virtual machine level. And as the IT department probably already runs a few applications, the overhead for TaaS is insignificant. Meaning, you are in full control. Again, none of the data is available on any computer or through any interface you don't allow it to be. How did we actually design TaaS to come to market? How do you become a part of TaaS? We are talking about mobile phones and tires. So eventually, we are talking about opportunities that expand globally. Your share of TaaS basically exists in the form. This is how we have TaaS designed. Your involvement in the adaptation of TaaS to make TaaS being your product. You are buying the adaptation of the technological core to your use case, and you license this development to a particular region and use case, like telematics, fleet check services, workshops, or if you happen to be so, you belong to any of the other interest groups that could take their fair share in TaaS. Clearly, we're talking about licensing your TaaS product. Your share goes directly into your TaaS only, a TaaS of which you are the exclusive owner of. We take care that you are provided with further updates to maintain high availability and ease of operation. What do we give to you? We allow you to license TaaS for your use case in a singular or multiples of regions around the world. Whatever suits your business case, we will make it possible. What do we expect in return? We expect a participation in TaaS in the form of financial involvement, where we develop the current state of TaaS to become your very own TaaS product. Let us now have a look on some of the figures related to the tire economy. The typical tire in Central Europe lasts longer than 2 years. During this time, it is measured at every workshop visit, at every seasonal change and associated storage in the tire hotel, at the PTI visit, and at the end of its tire life as part of the old tire recycling. All this results in around 4 TWF measurements per year on each of the 1.3 billion passenger car tires in Europe, at a full cost of 25 euros per hour. This results in annual costs of around 300 million euros just for determining the condition of passenger car tires. In the world of business fleets, such as DHL with around 44,000 vehicles, or DAXA with around 30,000 trucks, tire inspection is outsourced to special service providers, fleet checkers such as Euromaster or Vergölst. Here, tire inspection takes place more than 5 times a year as part of service contracts and truck maintenance. The costs for recording the condition of tires are higher per vehicle for commercial vehicles. Commercial vehicles in Europe incur an annual labor cost of around 190 million euros, just for TWF measurement. The elimination of measurement errors and the elimination of driving time results in further savings in the range of hundreds of millions of euros. Each of the manual measurement errors causes costs for the environment by changing tires too early, or reduces road safety by changing tires too late. What does digitization now save for the tire hotels and fleet services providers already mentioned? Digitization reduces labor costs by around 70%. And it allows to provide the tire owner with traceable and objective readings. As you can see, the direct savings in the industry of tire hotels are around 100 million euros per year. The servicing of commercial vehicles is a large market with high labor costs and high ancillary costs. Our TaaS solution makes it possible to record the condition of the tires faster, more accurately, and with less hardware input. And above all, independent of location and time. Now think about the opportunities. The direct savings are around 100 million euros per year. The savings from less travel costs to the fleet check base and lower error rates are much higher and increasing annually as logistics continue to grow rapidly. The B2C market can also be addressed with TaaS. For example, by selling up-to-date tire demand information to online tire dealers. We are thus enabled to bring a completely new value proposition through TaaS to a globally scaling market. Before we conclude with the Q&As, we now come to the final slide. We have now been involved in tire diagnostics for 17 years. For a year now, cameras, AI technology, and computing power of mobile devices have been at a level that provides the required measurement resolution. Thus, the shareholders of CST and the state of Baden-Württemberg have invested almost €500,000 in several steps already. The current status allows to measure the thread depth with high precision under defined conditions. The first early accesses have been taken place since a few weeks. We are now looking for first participators to take the first step into their use cases of TaaS. So I should now connect to my technic guy in the background. Markus, do we have questions?
Yes, we have. The first question is, on which devices does the software run?
We have run TaaS on recent devices from Apple and Android devices. So it's, the support platforms will be Apple and Android.
You have a second question. Does it work at night?
Yeah, it does work at night. To make it work at night, we use the integrated lighting into the mobile device.
And we have a third question. How long does it take to get a result?
Currently, it takes some time. The aim is to have results available within a 10-second range, end to end.
And our last question, how much does a full license for Europe cost?
Well, this is a good question, and we don't have a fixed package for licensing Europe. We're talking about use cases, we're talking about the amount of vehicles. So regarding this specific question, we should like to welcome a direct dialogue to figure out the details.
That's the last question.
All right, okay. So since we do not have any more questions, I should like to thank you all for your interest, for your participation in the webinar. And it's already afternoon, I should like to wish a good night. Thanks everyone, bye.